A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously.
When she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down, and it looked like some gay act that was going on, he got on the phone.
We've all seen the headlines, the courtroom sketches, the viral clips of Diddy in handcuffs. But what if the most explosive chapter of this saga isn't about the charges he's facing now, but about a tragedy we were told to forget? Right this moment, behind closed doors, a bombshell collaboration is taking shape, one that could rewrite the story of Kim Porter's passing. And it's being orchestrated by the two men who know the truth better than anyone. Her son Quincy Brown and the one artist Diddy could never control, 50 Cent. This isn't just another documentary in the making. This is a calculated strike, years in the planning, and the timing couldn't be more damning. Diddy is locked up, his empire crumbling, his inner circle scattering. And now the two people he allegedly silenced for years are joining forces to ask the question no one else would. Was Kim Porter's demise in 2018 ever really just a pneumonia?
He broke Kim, let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. So Cassie's story is Kim's story. Cassie's book is Kim's book.
Let's be clear about what we're witnessing. Quincy Brown, the son Diddy raised but never fully controlled, has spent years walking a razor's edge, present at the trial, but never defending his stepfather. Supportive in public, but eerily silent on the rumors swirling around his mother's final days. Insiders say that silence was never submission, it was strategy. While Diddy's biological sons, Christian and Justin, found themselves entangled in the legal fallout, named in lawsuits, photographed in handcuffs during those now infamous raids, Quincy stayed above the fray. No accusations, no viral moments, just a quiet, watchful presence biding his time. And now with Diddy behind bars, the gloves are off. Sources close to the project tell us Quincy has been working directly with 50 Cent, the same man whose Netflix exposed Sean Combs' The Reckoning sent shock waves through the industry earlier this year. But here's the twist. That documentary, as explosive as it was, barely touched on Kim Porter. It was a glaring omission, one that had fans and conspiracy theorists alike screaming for answers. Now we're learning why. Quincy allegedly held back, waiting for the right moment to drop the real story. And that moment, it's now.
Out in front of this and tried to persuade Netflix not to come forward with it. I think it's an interesting argument because what they're claiming is, Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, has had a long-standing, animosity against Diddy and sort of vice versa. And because he's at the helm, they're arguing this can't be taken seriously. This should sort of be seen as propaganda. And one of the things that Netflix hit back with was, yes, he's the executive producer. He doesn't necessarily have creative control. And that's something we.
The stakes here go far beyond family drama. This is about a passing that was ruled natural, but never quite sat right with those who knew Kim best. Official records say she succumbed to lobar pneumonia on November 15, 2018 after a rapid decline that started with flu-like symptoms just 8 days prior. No pre-existing conditions, no history of substance use, just a sudden inexplicable collapse in her Tuca Lake home discovered by a family member who found her unresponsive in bed. The LA County Medical Examiner closed the case in 2019, calling it a tragedy, but nothing suspicious. But here's where the narrative unravels. Kim's final days were filled with contradictions that have haunted her loved ones for years. She tested negative for the flu. She tested negative for strep. She was treated with antibiotics, vitamins, pain meds, standard protocol. And by November 14th, her family says she was improving. Her fever broke. She was well enough to receive a massage that evening, a detail that has baffled observers from the start. If Kim was battling a severe lung infection, why was a masseuse in her home? Who authorized it? And why has the identity of that individual never been publicly confirmed? Then there's the timeline. November 7th, sore throat. November 12th, fever. November 15th, gone. For a woman with no underlying health issues, that progression isn't just fast. It's statistically unlikely. And yet, the case was closed.
About 4 of them that knows everybody dirty secrets.
Dirty secrets. Enter Alb Shur, Kim's ex and Quincy's biological father, the first high-profile voice to publicly challenge the official story. In July 2020, he posted a tearful video from the morning he learned of her passing, captioning it with a message that left no room for ambiguity. I know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. The post was deleted after Quincy reportedly reached out, calling it triggering. But Al didn't back down. In fact, he doubled down, hinting in later interviews that Kim had confided in him about fears for her safety, that she'd sent him cryptic messages in her final weeks, and that she was running from something she couldn't name. Then, in November 2021, Al dropped another bombshell, a throwback photo of himself, Kim, and Quincy with a caption that sent the internet into a frenzy. "You would never believe what she went through," he wrote, before adding that she'd once told him, "Life imitating art. Art imitating life." Now it all makes sense. The implication was clear. Kim saw patterns, connections, things that only made sense in hindsight. And Al wasn't done. Just months after that post, he collapsed in his studio, suffering what doctors called a mysterious multi-system organ failure that left him in a coma for nearly 2 months. He survived, but the timing was impossible to ignore. Al had been vocal about Kim's demise. Then he nearly lost his life. When he finally spoke out again, he didn't mince words. "I believe this to be the case. Yes, absolutely." He told Fox 5 New York when asked if Diddy or his associates were behind his medical crisis. "There was a bounty on my head. You..."
Somebody phone. Why would you take somebody's tablet or her computer? It was some foul play.
Was some foul play. Now fast forward to today. Al's allegations are no longer fringe conspiracy theories. They're part of a growing chorus of voices demanding answers. And Quincy, he's allegedly been collecting evidence, reaching out to former associates, and most critically, securing 50 Cent's backing for a project that could finally force a reckoning. Remember, 50 isn't just some opportunistic filmmaker. He's the man who, through his Netflix documentary, exposed the inner workings of Diddy's empire, from the infamous freak-off gatherings to the allegations of systemic coercion. He's the one who spent years trolling Diddy online, calling out his alliances, and according to insiders, quietly gathering intel on the one topic no one else would touch, Kim's demise. The fact that Quincy is allegedly working with him now, that's not a coincidence. That's a signal. This documentary isn't just about revisiting old rumors. It's about connecting dots that have been staring us in the face for years.
They'll explain why he's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
Let's talk about those dots. Start with the pneumonia ruling. Lobar pneumonia, to be precise. A condition that, while serious, is rarely fatal in otherwise healthy adults, especially not within a week of onset. Yet Kim, a 47-year-old woman with no known health issues, was gone before paramedics could even attempt resuscitation. Then there's the matter of her memoir, the one her children called fake in a public statement, the one Diddy's lawyer dismissed as a shameless attempt to profit from tragedy. But here's the thing. Multiple sources, including producer Chris Todd, claimed the manuscript was real, that it was saved on a hard drive, and that it contained explosive details about her relationship with Diddy. Al B. Shore has gone on record saying Kim's devices, her computer, her notes, vanished after her passing, suggesting a cover-up. And let's not forget the eerie parallel Al himself drew. Miss Porter's missing devices, allegedly already in evidence, unquestionably contained the critical proof that had been concealed. He didn't stop there. He tied her case to the alleged removals of several prominent artists, a cryptic reference that had industry insiders nodding knowingly. Then there's the pattern. Evie D gone at 44 from a pneumonia-related illness. Bobby Christina Brown found unresponsive in a bathtub. Her autopsy citing lobar pneumonia as a contributing factor. Brittany Murphy gone at 32. Her passing certificate listing pneumonia as the cause despite her husband's claims that she'd been poisoned. The connections, all of them had ties, however distant, to Diddy's circle. All of them left questions that were never fully answered.
So he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? Like he never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that.
And then there's the 50 Cent factor. The rapper turned mogul has never been one to shy away from a fight, especially not with Diddy. Their feud is legendary, stretching back to the early 2000s when 50 accused Diddy of orchestrating the attack that left him shot 9 times. He spent years dropping hints, releasing diss tracks, and most recently producing that Netflix expose that laid bare the dark underbelly of Diddy's empire. But here's what's different this time. 50 isn't just throwing jabs from the sidelines. He's allegedly deep in the trenches with Quincy, helping to shape a project that could finally answer the question that's lingered since 2018. What really happened to Kim Porter? And if the past is any indication, 50 doesn't do anything halfway. His last documentary included never-before-seen footage of Diddy strategizing with his lawyers days before his sentencing. Footage no one knew existed until it was on screen. If he's got similar intel on Kim's case, this isn't just a documentary, it's a detonation. So where does that leave us? With Diddy locked up, his legal team insisting all allegations are fabrications, and his children, save for Quincy, still publicly standing by the pneumonia ruling, but the cracks are showing. Christian and Justin's names have surfaced in lawsuits. The twins, Delilah and Jesse, have stayed silent, and Quincy, he's making his move. The question isn't just what this documentary will reveal, it's what happens when it does. Because if Kim Porter's demise wasn't what we were told, if Albie Schure's near-fatal collapse wasn't a coincidence, if the pattern holds, then this isn't just about one woman's tragic end. It's about a machine, one that's been operating in plain sight for decades. And if Quincy and 50 Cent have the proof, they claim that machine is about to be exposed for what it really is, the only question left is how far the fallout will go. Because one thing's certain, when this drops, the conversation won't be about whether Kim was poisoned. It'll be about who else knew and who helped cover it up.
I'm sorry, I'm just like really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck. During those years, you're still stuck 21.
We've all heard the whispers about Diddy's infamous gatherings, the ones where careers were made, reputations were ruined, and where, according to multiple lawsuits, lines were crossed in ways that left lasting scars. But what if those parties weren't just about power plays and private encounters? What if they were also the stage for something far darker? A pattern of disappearances and unexplained tragedies that always seem to benefit one man? Because when we start connecting the dots between Kim Porter's passing and the other high-profile figures tied to Diddy who met untimely ends, the picture that emerges isn't just disturbing, it's systematic. Heavy D, the beloved rapper and one-time Bad Boy affiliate, collapsed in 2011 at just 44 years old, his demise attributed to a pneumonia-related illness. No autopsy was ever made public. Then there's Bobby Christina Brown, found unresponsive in that bathtub in 2015. Her case officially ruled a tragic accident, yet her autopsy, like Kim, cited lobar pneumonia as a factor. And let's not forget the eerie parallels to Brittany Murphy's sudden end in 2009, another natural causes ruling that left her family and fans convinced there was more to the story. All three had ties, however indirect, to Diddy's world. All three left behind questions that were never answered. And all three had one thing in common. Their departures removed potential threats. People who knew too much, who'd seen too much, or who might have spoken out if given the chance.
Did he? Or didn't he? Well, if he didn't, he's got a lot to explain. Well, apparently what Diddy's done now, which is a very interesting thing, is he's on the offensive of sorts. That's right, Sean Diddy Combs has initiated a $100 million defamation lawsuit.
Now let's talk about the money, because this isn't just about justice for Kim or the other names tied to Diddy's orbit. It's about an empire built on silence and the financial dominoes that could fall if that silence is broken. Kim's alleged memoir, the one her children called fake and Diddy's team dismissed as a shameless cash grab, wasn't just a tell-all, it was a ticking time bomb. Sources familiar with the project say it contained details about Diddy's private dealings, his methods of control, and most critically, his alleged role in suppressing other voices before they could go public. Imagine if that manuscript had seen the light of day in 2018 before Cassie Venter's lawsuit, before the federal indictments, before the raids on his properties. It could have ended him. Instead, it vanished along with Kim's devices, her notes, and any digital trail that might have corroborated her claims. That's not a coincidence. That's a playbook. And if Quincy's documentary delivers what insiders claim it will, we're not just looking at a re-examination of Kim's case. We're looking at a financial and reputational earthquake. Because the moment this drops, the lawsuits will follow. The endorsements will dry up. The remaining allies will scatter. And Diddy, he'll be left with nothing but legal bills and a legacy and tatters.
Afraid of coming forward. They've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
Which brings us to Quincy Brown, the wild card in all of this. The son who played the long game. The stepson who stayed silent when it mattered. Who showed up at Diddy's trial but never once spoke in his defense. Who allegedly kept his distance from the legal fallout while his brothers got caught in the crossfire. People have spent years wondering why Quincy moved differently, why he never lashed out, why he never posted an emotional tribute or fired back at critics. Now we're seeing the method behind it. This wasn't grief, it was strategy. Quincy wasn't just protecting his sisters, as some insiders claim. He was gathering intel, waiting for the right moment to strike. And that moment, it's now. With Diddy locked up, his inner circle fracturing, and his PR machine in free fall, Quincy's alliance with 50 Cent isn't just a power move. It's a declaration of war. Because let's be real, 50 doesn't do favors. He does business. And if he's investing time, resources, and his own reputation into this project, it's because he knows it's going to explode. The question is, how far will the blast radius reach? Specifically challenges allegations suggesting
this is the flight where Diddy said to her,
showed her
he
the video,
testified
showed her
that
the freak-off video.
he showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm going to put this video out. I'm going to send it to your mother.
And that's coercion,
She testified
if it's true.
to that.
If the jury
believed her,
yeah,
that's coercion. They would have Cassie.
We've seen this story before. The fallen mogul, the whistleblowers, the documentaries that promise to expose it all. But this time feels different because this isn't just about one man's downfall. It's about the system that protected him, the people who stayed silent, and the ones who didn't live long enough to tell their side. So here's what we need to ask ourselves. If Kim Porter's passing wasn't what we were told, who else was part of the cover-up? Who else knew? And what happens when Quincy's documentary forces those names into the light? Because one thing's for sure, this isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning. And when the truth finally comes out, it won't just be Diddy facing the consequences. It'll be everyone who helped him keep it buried. So, tell us, do you think Kim's case will be the one that finally brings the whole house down? Or is there still someone somewhere powerful enough to keep the secrets locked away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you're ready for the truth, and don't forget to subscribe because when this documentary drops, you're going to want to be the first to see it. Stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in a world built on lies, the truth is the most dangerous weapon of all. We'll see you in the next one.